Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions. Today, we are joined by the team from GroupSendGetaway. They have graciously stayed up very late or gotten up very early to be on with us. They're located in Australia, and they're here to talk to us about a solution to a very common problem in the high-level community, which is Twilio costs, especially if you're in a country where the rates are not what they are in the US. Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Morning.
All right. So who are we starting with? John, I believe. John, we spoke about this many months ago. You had started using HighLevel. You wanted to attack the market in a specific way, but you hit a barrier, right? So talk about it.
Yeah, sure. So thanks, Chase. We obviously embraced Go High Level and got into the depths of working through your team and all the amazing features and benefits and ways to utilize, obviously, Go High Level, voicemail drops, SMS and so forth. What we then came across is that in our part of the world, much like everywhere else, I suppose, is that once you start using the product effectively, you start to chew through some serious Go High Level credit. Whether that be based in Australia on our higher rates, even in America. You and I chatted about the fact that it'd be great if we utilized the Go High Level community and didn't operate effectively as 2,000, 4,000 separate agencies. And how do we use that buying power to get a better rate with Twilio? And I reached out to you and you said, yeah, we wish we'd done that. Well, I've come up with a solution to reverse engineer what we're doing and make sure that that happens.
Right. So to frame I think a lot of our community in the US isn't even aware of, in a lot of countries, like in the US, we pay a fraction of a penny to send a message, right? In Australia, it's like 4 cents. So
5 cents USD, which is 8 cents for us per SMS.
Which is crazy. So you think about the typical campaign and how many text messages might go back and forth. That's a significant number. And so Twilio does offer group rates, but you have to be serious volume, right? And so the problem is HighLevel community is registered independently. So we don't get like these are all collectively HighLevel. No, these are thousands of agencies that all have their own account. And so you guys are taking a different approach and saying, hey, if we all got together, we could achieve cheaper rates, right?
Correct. Yeah. So effectively what we then did is obviously not only the rates. Once I dived into it and I looked at, Twilio into more depth and went, hey, wow, what can we do to better improve the experience for Go High Level? Well, for my agency first and primarily, before I reached out to the guys below that we were about to speak with. It was all about how the hell can I get this better process? Because the next issue that came up quite apparent for me is I had all these sub accounts on my credit card and how they were basically spending freely. And I just, retrospectively hoped that they hadn't, one, blown their budget, and two, obviously there wasn't any issues with credit, with spend on my card. So, I wanted to have a system in place that I suppose prevented them spending excessively. Not just a notification system, I suppose, but really something that managed and made my agency secure. So we created that, and that was the next step.
Okay, awesome. So we're talking about achieving better rates through group buying power. Mm-hmm. We're also talking about protection, right? Not having somebody run up a big bill that you weren't planning on your card.
Yep.
We're also talking about protection in another way too, right? Which I don't think a lot of people talk about. And I think Robert's going to explain to us more of like a legal type of protection.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment after we sort of focus on the finance parts, but Rob will talk about the compliance, obviously, one, with your local jurisdiction, and then number two is obviously appeasing Twilio, who are quite, necessary. So we need to appease that as well. So there's a couple of things that Robert's going to share with you as well. So that was a significant part. But yeah, managing multiple sub accounts and ensuring that people, our agency was protected from spend. So we created a process to essentially get our sub accounts to pre-approved credit and then have the credit paid to their account once that money had been withdrawn. So that's what we've created, and Nathan will demonstrate a little bit of how that works, a little bit more detail.
Awesome. Well, let's do it.
Yeah. So
go for it.
did you want to jump in?
No, I was going to say Nathan, I think, is a familiar face. He's been on the show before. He's known to the community with his GHL tools products. So Nathan, yeah, who wants to screen share? Let's check this out.
I'll jump in, and I just want to show you guys. I mean, so the important thing to note was that I'll just bring this up, and I'll bring up share. I'll bring up my little notepad because I can't follow a conversation. I drift off, so that's why I had that there. But what we've got here is basically a calculator that really highlights the benefit of using our payment gateway, GroupSend. And what it does here is, I suppose, has our various 3 packages, and I'll just talk through them slowly as I can because I find this a little bit exciting. We have our basic package, our standard, and our premium package. And what I want to do is show you that it's not about, in fact, the price you pay, but it's in fact what you're going to get back from utilizing the GroupSend or the GHL community's buying power and the GroupSend benefit or rebate that you're going to get from feeding your sub accounts through us. So I'll just go through a demonstration with you. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay, so on the basic package, if we were looking at that, typically, I just want to also highlight that you're not forced to buy the basic package because you have 1 to 30 sub accounts. It's a guide, and obviously it also dictates how many sub accounts we need to be compliant and support you with, but that's how we came up with our pricing structure. But you are enabled to, on 10 sub accounts, buy the premium package. And it comes with a whole bunch of features and benefits and customized service that we provide on each tier. The main thing that you're going to see here is the group benefit increases by 5% as you start to go from 5 to 10 to 15%. And I'll show you how much that really starts to work in your favor. So on number 1 agency with 25 sub accounts, as we see here on the left, with a group benefit of 5%, you will actually see that the average Twilio spend per month, and these are all monthly figures, by the way, is a mere $50. On $50, you would see a $1,250 spend, and with our GroupSend benefit, the agency would receive $62.50 per month back to their account. Now, what I've calculated here is after the subscription cost, it'd actually be only $16.50 out of pocket per month for using our gateway. That's a mere less than $200 per year. However, as we all know, and as we start to work with spending more on our services with GHL, average client spend can go up. So if we were to change those numbers to our average spend per sub account of $100, you can start to see now that the GroupSend benefit that is returned to you now is $125 per month, minus the subscription. You're actually receiving a payment from us for $46 per month, which is $552 per year. Are you with me?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So we're not even asking for you to pay for it. We're in fact paying you and rewarding you as a good HighLevel community for feeding all the usage through our payment gateway and really empowering each of us, let alone the benefits and compliance protection, which we're going to go through in a moment. So if I go to the next standard package at $199, this would typically be a 10% that is the benefit. If I come down and give you a quick demonstration, if 50 sub accounts with an average of $50 spend, again, very modest per month, your rebate would be $250 minus the subscription. You're actually going to be getting paid $51 per month from GroupSend Gateway as a benefit. Now, again, if I take that monthly spend and increase that to $100, as you can see, again, the benefit is now $500 per month to your agency minus the subscription. You're actually going to be receiving $3,612 from GroupSend Gateway as a payment per year to your agency. Obviously, you can see that this starts to get more compelling.
Yeah.
Now, the premium subscription comes with a whole bunch of custom and personal service that you'd have to be spending enormous amounts with Twilio to receive, but you only spend $4.99 per month. And I say only $4.99 because here you're getting the 15% group benefit. Now, if I run through a large agency, let's not forget this is unlimited. So at the lower end of this scale, you're going to have 100 sub accounts. Again, with a $50 per month spend, you're only actually looking at, with a 15% rebate, you're going to receive $750 per month from us. Minus a subscription, you're going to be receiving a $250 payment per month, which works out to be over $3,000 payment from GroupSend to your agency. But let's say in an agency, heaven forbid, I know some of you guys that have come on, they're doing amazing things. Let's say that they're actually closer to 200 sub accounts. They're actually spending, again, only $100 per month. You can see with the GroupSend benefit at 15%, you're receiving $3,000 per month from us, minus your subscription. You're actually going to be receiving a check for $30,000 per year from GroupSendGetaway for using our platform. That's after all the costs.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, as you can see, it starts to really make some sense. The more that your users start to spend,
literally,
then the bigger the literally, yeah, literally. I mean, the beautiful thing is you're harnessing your sub accounts, I suppose, credit usage, and then the agency's been given the rebate. Now, something, guys, are you okay for me to mention? Obviously, what's coming up in our next version is the ability for us to white label Twilio. So Twilio no longer exists. Agencies will, in fact, be able to dictate the price of the SMS. I mean, I can tell you, for example, there are companies in Australia that charge 20 cents per SMS, and I was frightened at 8 cents. Suddenly, it all looked very affordable. So what we can do now, what we'll be doing in version 2.0 of GroupSendGetaway is giving you the ability to actually dictate and mark up the price of the credit rate that you actually charge your clients. So these are monthly figures. So if the average agency spend is at $2,500 and you white labeled that and actually gave it a markup of say 50%, you'll be taking an extra $1,250 per month at the basic level. These numbers only climb, obviously, the more that you're spending through your account, and you can mark those up as suitable within your own market. So that's coming in the next version of our obviously of GroupSendGetaway.
Awesome.
Okay. Any questions? Did I miss anything, guys?
Yeah, I might jump in on that one. So with GHL tools, we've had a whole bunch of different agency models that we're getting visibility of. We've been talking to our clients about how this would work, how we could solve the Twilio problem, and hence why a bunch of new features and thoughts and patterns are coming into our approach with this. We meet pretty regularly with Twilio themselves. They were just on our call yesterday, finalizing some of the onboarding components of this. So I can go through that in a minute. But what John was talking about there, we not only can you, that's a really simple model of how you could just basically increase the price, but we've had agencies say, hey, well, I want to sell a pack. Okay, well, you can do that. I want to give my initial clients some credit so they can go and start using it, give them a taste, but then make them pay. We do that out of the box right now. Or we want to sell a pack, but then overages go to those. So if they spend, so let's give them $10 a month. And if they spend 50, that $40 they have to pay for themselves. We want to be able to give them a pack of SMS that we pay for. And then if they want more, we give them a larger pack. And maybe there's a different price model. Maybe there's a different structure to it. Maybe they're adding some other things to it. But we want to give the agency full ownership of their pricing, their packaging, their productization of what they want to do with this as well.
Which is awesome. And I mean, that's, I think, one of the core tenets of HighLevel is we took the different approach as a marketing tool of saying, hey, we're built for marketers, right? We're not trying to take Dr. Bob's money. We want Dr. Bob to pay you. We want you to be our client. And part of that has always been sort of pulling back the curtain and being like, look, it's Twilio that powers all these tools that you're used to use. We don't like the idea that you as a marketer are paying the markup on the real cost of that. And so we tell people, go get a Twilio account and now you're in charge, but you're not really in charge, right? So with a tool like this, it kind of does put you in charge where you could actually monetize the credits as most of the other marketing platforms are already doing, right?
Exactly.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about the third piece of this, which is, again, I don't think a lot of our community in the US knows, but when you're in a different country, like I'm in Mexico, right? And if I set up, I want to get a Twilio number for my friend's restaurant, I have to create a bundle. So Twilio makes you actually upload information from the business to prove that that person owns the business. And then in HighLevel, you can then purchase a number. And so there's more to it than that I didn't realize until I talked to you guys. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So obviously, I'll just finish on the point that, yeah, I mean, we basically thought that we'd resolved all the issues. I'd created the agency account, and then Robert, who works closely with me, effectively saw that I had verified a bundle and had created multiple phone numbers underneath that. Rob basically then highlighted a number of quite concerning points for my agency. And Robert, did you want to take over from here?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So thanks for having us, Chase. Yeah, I'm the head of compliance at GroupSendGetaway. But yeah, when John got me involved in this, I kind of started having a look at GHL and then Twilio, and then noticed that you only need one. Well, Twilio doesn't impose you having multiple bundles every phone number that you have, and I saw that as a gap, basically, because I could think that, well, the way that John was running at that point was that he would have a bundle and then have potentially 20 plus numbers sitting under that bundle. The regulatory compliance side, when I started looking into it, means that he was basically liable for all the activities that were happening on those 20 numbers. Right. So in the event that there was a breach of like the terms and conditions or the acceptable use policy or any sort of breach, the buck stops with him. So his agency would be liable, but not only on that point, it'd be a suspension of one account could cause a ripple effect across all other 20 accounts if he had 20 numbers on it. So then so that was after we kind of had a look at the pricing issue, that kind of became number one to go for as well, because he didn't have any faith in he was basically growing his risk as he was growing his business. Right. Which is not the way you want to go. You want to have that stopping point. Everyone's at their own risk level. So we kind of built GroupSendGetaway with this in mind, and had like a compliance protection built into the forefront of the product. So when you manage like a sub account, all your bundles, instead of being buried behind this like Twilio, like switch into a sub account and then go into here and then have a look at your bundle, we're putting that at the forefront, right next to your phone number, so you can see when your sub account, well, for one, it's impossible for us to create. We've gated it. So when you create a phone number, you need to create a bundle, and it dynamically kind of populates that form and automates that based on your jurisdiction. So if you're in Mexico and you need different documents compared to someone in the US, or I know that in Australia we need 2 formal government documents, then the system will handle that, and it will kind of prevent you from falling into this Twilio trap of having this bundle and nesting all your eggs in one basket, as it were. So that kind of covers when people, from a GroupSendGetaway point of view, if they want to add manually, we've covered that off. But also, if there is an agency that comes to us that has 20 plus accounts or 200 plus accounts, and they're like, great, how do we migrate this? We've also been working closely with Twilio to make that a thing that can happen. So we've built in onboarding automation as well. So cool. It's a simple kind of form at the moment that people kind of fill out all their details, and we work with our representatives at Twilio and kind of hold their hand along the way, migrating that across. But it just does. I think it's a showstopper for someone who has a large number of phone numbers. It's just, I don't know how you could run a business like that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you don't have control of whether one of your clients just decides to start spamming people over the weekend, sending out all these texts, and then all of a sudden everybody's in trouble.
Yeah. And the other thing is that Twilio mentions it on their website as well, is that even though that the compliance might be fine for now, is that each country is heavily scrutinizing how many numbers they give out and what those numbers are being used for. So even though you might go, well, I've been running this way for ages. Like, what's like, it's never going to fall over. The US could change their jurisdiction or anything in 2 seconds, and then you're on the back foot straight away. So the idea was that with GroupSendGetaway, we can put them on the front foot. So at least they've got the bundle set up, and then we can monitor their compliance regulatory requirements and kind of assist them as an ongoing part of the service that we provide. Yeah, so with that being said, I think it's probably best to pass across to Nathan now to see if we can have a look at what it all looks like. If there's no questions.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so when you're in the US, you as the agency would have gone in and gone through the gauntlet, as we call it here, of actually getting a Twilio account set up. Then you have to basically put your own card on. You're going to validate a couple of details, and then that initial sign up process actually creates you a bundle when you're in the US to get you your first number. But all your sub accounts will end up using that. You don't have to provide any documentation or anything as yet. You can, but it's not required. As we were saying before, a bunch of countries, Mexico is one, Australia is another one. To action the adding of a number, you have to have a bunch of documentation up as well. So a bundle still gets created for the accounts, even in the US, but there's no documentation requirements for it. So it's quite simple to do. All right, so let's share, give you guys a little quick run through. We've pulled over into live mode, so I'm just going to show you through a couple of the items. I'll show you the different levels. So you can go to GroupSendGetaway and go and grab yourself an account. You'll be grabbing an agency account on one of the plans. What we've done with the agencies is we are getting prepared now for an agency to be able to white label Twilio. So you don't have to say, grab your Twilio account. We're taking that pain away from sending a dentist to the monster that is Twilio.com. And you go to this button here, and then you press this thing over here, and then it'll take you to the screen. Just hang there for a minute, jump on your left leg, and then it's just a mess to try and get in there. And then I'm going to ask you for some credentials and some keys and a bundle and a document and a blah. It's just a mess. So we want to take that away. We want to give the agencies the ability to sign them up themselves, create them a simple bundle, maybe assign their own bundle if it's really simple just to get started. And then they can say, hey, so from a regulatory perspective, I need you to go and do your own one. Here's the link to go and do it. And it literally is in here. So we take away the Twilio pain. Or we're going to have you under us. Go here and put your credit card in, and any overages get charged by you. So that's our thinking at a high level for what we want to do. What that means is that GroupSendGetaway is actually a multi-tiered user model. All that means is you'll sign up here as an agency. We'll give you then a login that your users come and sign up under. So you can manage your users themselves. You've got full control over your users, and your users can control themselves as well. So that's kind of how the model works. So as an agency, once you sign up, you'll end up on this screen. I haven't really skipped much here, but you click sign up, put in your business name, email, and payment details, and you'll land on this screen here. When we jump on today, there will be a little video here explaining what I'm about to explain to you. So make it nice and easy. So this is your dashboard inside of GroupSendGetaway. So what we're giving you guys the ability to do is not only brand yourself, so you'll have the ability to change your agency's front end in the system. Super simple. It literally is a sign up form for your customers to give their credit card details. That's really it. But you'll have a subdomain initially from your sign up, which you can obviously mask through your Cloudflare or whatever to send them wherever you like. You can see all of your sub accounts. You can see the credit limits that you've applied to your sub accounts, and obviously the usage reports, which is the big one. So how do I find out who's spending a lot? How do I find out across my accounts what they're using the most? So I've got a bunch of agencies. So a bunch of chiropractors that I'm giving them voice drops and SMS campaigns. And one of my chiros is not using the voice drops. Oh my God, guys, like why are you getting on the phone with every single client? Just get them a voice drop. So it gives you the ability to be proactive with the users. And those reports, I guess, are really available inside of Twilio, but good luck. Like, it's going to take you 3 hours to find out how to get them.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're putting them right here on the dashboard for you. You can go via your sub accounts, and then you can buy the different types of usage, and then report back on the timing as well. So this is across your account. You can see all of your sub accounts. You can go into your sub accounts. I might pull that one in first, and take a look at those. You've got their SID IDs right here, which you can grab and go chuck straight into HighLevel. You can manage them. I'll just minimize this so you guys can see all the way across. We have the ability to, we've automated the credits part of this. So if you've applied a credit to a limit to your credit, and then you're 80% triggering, we're going to allow your users the ability to re-up their account. So automatically charge the card that they've got on file, and re-add that monthly limit. They can set that limit. They can change that limit. You don't have to be involved in any of that. So we've automated all of that. We've taken that out of your hands. You can do it for them if you've got that kind of a relationship with your agency client as well. So you can literally, I'll do everything for you, and you log in here and put your credit card in, and then I'll do everything for you. So you can have that kind of relationship. Or here's the login, go sort yourselves out. Good luck and enjoy the software. So we've allowed the ability for agencies to add funds. You can add funds from your own card into your clients as well if you want to look after them. You can manually suspend them, and you can manually lock them out as well. So suspending them in here in your agency suspends their Twilio account. Stop spend. They can't do anything else. Disable user login just stops them from logging into your GroupSendGetaway as well if you need to do that. Just as a last ditch effort as well to lock them out if you need to. So we're giving the control to the agencies. You can as an agency, so literally you've signed up, you need to bring your accounts on. So you can go into sub accounts and create a new sub account. Name, email, password. Notifications is where the notifications would go to that user. You can have them all sent to you. Again, you've got control. You want it to be, if your relationship with your clients is more we're an agency and we do stuff for you and there's some software you can use with us, or it's we sell SaaS, go for your life, and give it back to them. So the notification email can be them. This is if you want to set them up yourself, so you can manually go and set them up. You don't have to add a credit limit. If you put credits into their account, it's coming from your card on file with us. If you just put that as 0, their account starts suspended. Suspended in Twilio's parlance means they don't have access yet. They have to put their card in before they can actually start using it, or you can gift them that. So one thing I've talked to agencies about is we want to initialize the account with them so they can go off and start using it, but I don't want a $10,000 SMS bill next time I log into Twilio, which is one of the options people have right now with using GHL when they're using it under their own Twilio account. There's no real way to stop that. There's no real way to limit it. There's no real way to get notifications about it. So we've added all of that functionality inside the system as well. So you can add your new sub accounts here. And then once you've got sub accounts, you can go and add bundles to them. We've simplified again this process of adding regulatory bundles. We have kept, and we've spoken to Twilio about this as well. They're happy for us to what's called underwrite these. So as long as we're using the terminology from their website, hence why there's a bunch of words on this page, as long as we're using the exact terminology from them, we're actually able to provide the full functionality for regulatory bundles that are government allowed. So we have simplified their process. It's much easier than, okay, I need to do this as a sub account, but it's much easier we've made this process a bunch easier than going into Twilio and doing it yourself.
That's cool.
We're going to ask for a location. I might actually do it from inside here. So let me skip over to what it looks like as a user as well then, and I'll show you how that bundle works and how simple we've made it. There's one more thing inside of the agency I want to show, which is the numbers. So obviously agencies are going to come with a bunch of numbers already. There's going to be new users out there, and what I've shown so far shows you how all of that works. I might need to blank out some numbers on here. Actually, that's a test number. It's okay. So the new users, what you're seeing here, that's what you would do. You can create numbers, you can create the bundles, you can add your users, you can add the credits, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, if you're an agency, you've got 20 clients already, you're going to want to bring those numbers over with you. So what we've done is we've made it a do-it-yourself process. So you can create a transfer request in here. So transfer your number in. It'll ask you for your old API ID, your old phone ID, a couple of details, and then we're going to submit that off to Twilio for you. Twilio does have an API for transferring numbers within a parent, but for compliance and security reasons, they don't allow through the API yet,
sure, makes sense.
To send from one parent to another. We're talking to them regularly. They want to see us provide this service for a little while before they allow that to happen. They're definitely open to allowing a bunch of stuff for us to do, which is great with our relationship. And this transfer request, if you go to the website now and ask for a number to be transferred between a parent, it says 7 days. We can get them done within 24 hours. So the number transfer, you can do it one by one, or you can submit a bulk request. So if you've got a bunch of numbers, inside of Twilio will show you how to grab those IDs, put them in a CSV file, upload that CSV file here, we'll make the submission for you. So we actually go to Twilio with our relationship management ID, and that gives us that bulk request. And it also means that that's super fast on a bulk request. You won't have to wait the 7 days to transfer them over. That process is quite simple. CSV file, we do the submission. You'll get an email from Twilio saying, do you approve this switch? Click, it's done.
Sweet.
So that's the migration process. Let me just show you quickly then what it looks like as a user. So inside, again, inside of your agency, we give you the ability to edit what your agency front end looks like. So I've gone ahead and added a front end here. Let's say your agency was called Lead Grown, or the way you were selling Twilio with Lead Grown. You can change the headlines, the sub headlines, some text on here, some images, what the buttons say and things like that. And also the amount that users pay when they sign up themselves. So we've got a necessity for them to, when they're creating their account, unless you want their account to be blocked, which it's not, you actually get a notification from Twilio saying your account's suspended. So we've added a minimum requirement here of a $10 spend. We're looking at whether we can have that actually be able to be switched off. But the idea is, if a user goes and signs up, they're going to add $10 to their account. That's going to come out of your card. We're obviously adding the ability to make that their spend rather than your spend, and also change that amount. So you could go back to zero if you like. It just means they'll be able to create their account, but then they'll have to go and put a payment detail in anyway. So just, it makes it simpler if they can just go and create that up front. So if we go into the, now we can go to this agency's front end, which is the test.mink media GroupSendGetaway. You can, as I said, you can mask that URL, and you can have a CNAME redirect on yours to make this look like yours, so they can get their Twilio account. And they go and create their account here, and then they'll have the pay $10. They put their credit card in, and then inside of their account, they can go in and set their limits, add their monthly fees. They can manage their cards. They can update their cards. They can see their usage reports. So they're going to see everything that you see on your front end. Let me just go back there. they can see for their own sub account. So they can check their usage. They can manage the monthly fee that comes out. They can do their bundles. They can do their numbers.
Nice. Awesome. Well, so where do people go if they want to get started?
GroupSendGetaway.com.
And it looks like we have a question over here or two in Facebook. When is the estimated release of version 2?
As soon as we have 50 agencies sign up. No, that's not true. That's in the works. I mean, honestly, probably not looking more than the next 30 days, I would imagine, because that's our next total next photo focus. So we'll make everyone very aware of it as soon as it's available.
Very cool.
So we've got a bunch of new stuff coming out for this. The work really has gone into simplifying the Twilio process. That's been the main focus for us. The relationship we've got with Twilio means that we can offer better pricing. The boys have done a lot of work on how can we manage that? What can we give back to the users? How can we make this make sense for everybody? So we've done some work on that as well. And the integrations themselves. So with bundles and numbers and transfers, we've made that as simple as we can right now, but there's still some work to do because we want to make this as automated as possible. There's also some work to do with the GHL guys. So Chase, you and I spoke about this on the last call. Wouldn't it be great if you could automate turning on and off funnel builder inside of everyone's account through the API? Mm-hmm. We know that's coming. I've spoken to Varun, I've spoken to a couple of the guys. It's happening. Same with the Twilio. So here's your SID ID, send to account, click, and it's in there already. You shouldn't have to log in and copy and paste and all that sort of stuff. User has created it. Here's their sub account. Sync with my account, click, done. It's in their Twilio, it's in their GHL account. So there's a bunch of stuff we can do to keep automating. So that's happening as well. We've already added the first iteration of white label. The second iteration is in development right now. It's actually in QA right now. So we're not far away from being able to fully white label. So you can set your own pricing.
Very cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, it's GroupSendGetaway.com. Head over there, check it out. You can sign up with those guys today, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it's ready to go.
Awesome. And be sure to let us know when V2 rolls out.
Will do. Thanks, Chase.
All right, everybody. Have a great
Chase.
day over there.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.